Welcome to the Savvy Dentist podcast with Dr. Jesse Green, the show where great dentistry meets great business. Listen in each week as we bring you an inspiring person who will share their story, ideas and business techniques to help you create a practice and a life you love. And now introducing your host, Dr. Jesse Green.
So let's talk about the preparation, patient arrival and welcome. It's a really critical part of the examination process, which is most commonly overlooked. It is by far a simple way to create a wonderful patient experience. And there's a lot of people talking about creating patient experiences, and that's great. I'm all for creating that. When I talk about creating a patient experience or a wow moment, I'm talking about a moment of genuine interpersonal connection. I'm not talking about having razzle dazzle and gadgets. I'm talking about meaningful connection. It's my strong view, and it's certainly borne out in our practices and with those of my clients, is if you can create a relationship with a patient and connect, okay, that patient is far more likely to stay with you and accept treatment than someone who's going to be seduced by the latest gizmos and gadgets. Okay, gizmos and gadgets are fine, but they don't replace meaningful connection. So when it comes to the patient experience, understand this is paramount. So there's a couple of things that I want to share with you is by getting this right, we actually build rapport with the team and not just the dentist, and build a relationship with the team, not just the dentist. And one of the things, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a lawyer. I used to do some marketing for him, John, and they have a firm in Canberra and they have a local government section of their firm. So we kind of cross into marketing a little bit. Here's another saying for you. Marketing is everything and everything is marketing. Okay? Marketing is everything and everything is marketing. So this particular law firm, they have a local government specialist and they had a relationship with a particular council and a contract that was worth about $1.5–2 million annually. And the relationship was between one partner in the law firm and one partner or one person in the council. If either of those people left, the whole relationship was gone. Okay, so the very first thing we initiated for that particular firm was more of our people getting to know more of your people. And so you get this spaghetti mix of relationships. So the relationship between the two companies, the two entities, becomes more like a rope where instead of the single strand, it's the strands woven to form a rope. And it's much stronger. And certainly that's the case with patients and a practice too. If you can have your patients develop relationships with your key staff, really, really powerful in terms of retention. So building that relationship is key. It allows us to move away from transactional kind of dentistry where it's just fee for service. People come in, they get what they expect, and their needs have been met rather than exceeded. Okay, so let's go through a couple of things here. So the initial contact on the telephone, and you can get an understanding of what's actually motivating the patient to make that appointment. Have they got a challenge on the upper left-hand side? Do they have a toothache? How long has it been there for? Is it keeping them awake? Does it get worse with hot or cold? And all those other sorts of things. That's really important information so we know procedurally what's going on there. But it also allows us to communicate that in the morning huddle so that when the dentist does get to see the patient, Tom might say to the patient, Mrs. Jones-Honey was telling me that, you've had some pain on that upper left-hand side. She indicated to me it's been there for about a week, but it seems to get worse with cold rather than heat. It doesn't keep you awake at night, and you're not taking any medication for it. Have I got that about right? Now, how do you think Mrs. Jones is going to think? She's thinking, wow, these guys are all over it, right? She's going to be impressed that there's internal dialogue between Tom and Honey and that they're all over that communication piece. So a couple of things that we talk about with the appointment, again, some of you will have heard this, but it's important to understand, is when the appointment is made, you want to be using the cascading series of alternate choices when we talk about making an appointment. We start wide, which days work well for you, which days are bad for you. Monday and Wednesday are my key days, great. And do you prefer morning or an afternoon? Morning's better. Well, I could do Monday at 9 or Wednesday at 10. Which one of those suits you best? So it's starting wide, narrowing down. And then, because new patients are anonymous to the practice, they are, along with hygiene patients, the one who are most likely to cancel. Okay? So what we're looking for is appointment commitment. So, Mr. Jones, we're looking forward to seeing you at Monday at 10. You'll be okay for that appointment? Yeah, I just made it. All right. Great. Well, that's fantastic. So that's all we're trying to do. Now, there's a whole lot of psychology around that, and it's about a process called commitment and consistency, but we know that when we can extract that commitment from them, they're far more likely to turn up. Okay, so really important. Now, if you want to have the advanced tip around this, Mr. Jones, we're looking forward to seeing you at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, whatever it is. You'll be okay for that appointment? Yeah, fine, no worries. Great. Now, Mr. Jones, while I've got you on the phone and it's easy and convenient for you, is there anyone else in the family who needs an appointment while we're at it? Boom. All right. So the next part of the patient preparation bit is the welcome pack. Now, you can either do this electronically if your patients are on email and so on, or you can do it by snail mail. The things that we put in ours, we've got a welcome letter, we've got a medical and dental questionnaire, we've got a practice brochure, we've got a map, parking details, and an appointment card. So all of that could easily be included electronically if that's your preferred delivery method. But essentially, giving them an experience. And one of the things I just want to tell you is that the way you onboard your clients at the beginning actually sets them up for how it's going to go thereafter. So onboarding is really important. And again, we're slipping into marketing here, but this is part of that first 90 days experience that they get to have, so you can dazzle them and show them, what connection you can create with them. And they're much more likely, A, to stay, but B, to tell their friends about you. We would confirm our appointment 2 days prior during admin time. So the confirmation call, again, the usual way would be, Mr. Jones, just ring to let you know that we're all set for your appointment on 11 o'clock at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. Dr. Green asked me to call to see if you've got any queries prior to that appointment. No, great. Well, otherwise, we're looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 10. Now, clearly, if you use SMSs, that's going to be a bit hard. In our case, we don't use SMS a lot at all, in fact. I know others have a different philosophy around that, and that's completely cool. If it's working for you, stick with it. But in our case, we use the phone. Morning huddle, again, making sure that you're bringing that new patient relationship form to the huddle, briefing your dentist about the concerns that Mrs. Jones has with her toothache, making sure there's good dialogue and communication around that. And when the patient arrives, greet them by name. Yeah, oh, hi, you must be Mary. My name's Maggie. I'm the one that's been talking to you on the telephone. How nice is that? There is nothing more musical to a person than the sound of their own name. Yeah. So hopefully you should know who's coming through the door. Now, I completely get that in some busy practices, that's not as easy as it would otherwise be. I get that. So there could be some logistical challenges there. But where possible, if you know that someone's coming in, try and greet them by name. It's a much nicer way to be met. Try not to, sit down at your desk so they're way up there. You might want to stand up and meet them at eye level. And if you want to give the patient a tour, that's fine. But the main thing is that they're not left unaccompanied and wondering what's happening next. They want to feel like they're being handheld through the process.
Thank you for listening to the Savvy Dentist podcast with Dr. Jesse Green. For more free tools and resources, join the free Facebook group. Visit drjessegreen.com/Facebook. And for more episodes, visit drjessegreen.com/savvydentist.